It's time to duel. Today we're going to be talking about Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We're going to be talking about the brand value of these cards, what cards I have in my collection, how I got these on a budget, and my overall thoughts on the investing and future of the brand, as well as some cool stories of my past around Yu-Gi-Oh cards as a bonus. So let's begin. First and foremost, I am by no means a financial advisor or expert in this market. In fact, I don't really think there's truly anyone who can be a guru in this because you never really know. However, these are my thoughts and opinions on the topic, and at the very least, it will be fun. So, for me at least, and I'm going to start with my first card that I recently got. This is the Blue Eyes White Dragon Limited Edition BPT. And this came from one of the first ever Yu-Gi-Oh tins. It has a fantastic secret rare hatching that's a diagonal. And Blue Eyes is almost the Charizard of the Yu-Gi-Oh universe. I will be referencing a lot of Pokemon analogies just because I know there's a lot more Pokemon collectors in the world who will understand that better. But for me personally, Yu-Gi-Oh has been much more of a card collecting thing in my childhood, and I believe most young people, millennials' childhood growing up, than Pokemon. Yes, there's that 1 year or year and a it was kind of like half of a year where Pokemon popped and everyone wanted Pokemon cards. But I believe that subsided quickly, and compared to the Yu-Gi-Oh trend, the Yu-Gi-Oh was a lot bigger. I'm a huge fan of it, and I collected so many cards. I got into it. For me, Pokemon, frankly, it was a bit out of my budget, and honestly, it didn't stick as long. But I knew a lot of friends, especially when I went to Chinese school, that they would just always collect their cards and show off their cards, and there's always someone who was richer than everyone else, and they had all these cards. And so it was just a longer enduring thing, and I think it has more nostalgia and sticks in the mind of millennials. Plus, I'm very familiar with a lot of these cards. So when I got into Pokemon cards, I started to get into thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Now, the difference between Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh is that for Pokemon, there's the Wizards of the Coast initial sets. However, with Yu-Gi-Oh, they reprinted everything to death. So really, the only things worth collecting, from what I hear, are the first editions or the promo cards. And so the first edition Blue Eyes from the original starter structure deck, I think it's called the starter deck, and the booster packs are just way out of my price range. There's already collectors who are taking this very seriously, so those are way out of my price range. We're talking thousands of dollars, even ungraded. So this is the next best thing. It's the from the first tin. So this came with every tin guaranteed. So not as great. It's not really a pull, but well within my price range. I think I got this for about $50. So pretty good. And personally, my favorite. Another thing worth noting is that Yu-Gi-Oh cards are harder to pull. You have super rares, ultra rares, and I personally think that the hollow foilings look much cooler. I love ultra rares because then the name becomes gold in gold foiling. And then the secret rares are secret, not part of the registered set, and they have this vertical hatching. So I like the secret rares a lot too, but my favorites are the ultra rares. So here's the next one. Here's Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, and you can still watch the anime on the internet or on Netflix, and it really give you a huge sense for which cards are popular, which cards I love personally. And I remember I'm gonna rewatch the anime because I loved it, but I remember when Pegasus came out, man. I mean, this person was a beast. He had a gold eye, and he had Toon World. So all these massively dark, monstrous monsters, he used Toon World to turn them into cartoon versions and turn them to his control. So it was such an overpowered card, and so I had to get Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. Unfortunately, although this is the first edition from the Pegasus starter deck, with starter decks, you know, the cards are guaranteed. You know what's in them, so it's not much of a pull. However, they're still kind of rare to find. And I prefer the hollow version. This is just a common version, but that's what you get when you get a starter deck. The hollow version is just way out of my price range, unfortunately, so I can't actually use that. Next is Fiber Jar. This wasn't really shown in the anime much, but I just loved it. It was played fairly on. When a lot of people just dipped out of Yu-Gi-Oh, I continued to play, and the game evolved and more modern sets came out. Fiber Jar was used fairly often. At first, it was underrated, and then I saw people play it, and it basically just takes everything out of your hands and your graveyards and back into the deck. So it could really change the whole game. And I mean, the artwork on Yu-Gi-Oh, it's darker, it's more complex. The hollowing is better. Frankly, I think the artwork in Yu-Gi-Oh is better than Magic the Gathering or Pokemon. Just my personal opinion, take it or leave it. Now this is a doozy here. I mean, anyone who knows Yu-Gi-Oh cannot not recognize this card. Maybe one of the most iconic Magic cards. And that's another fantastic thing about Yu-Gi-Oh. The Magic and spell cards, the spell and trap cards are almost as iconic, if not more iconic than the monsters. In Pokemon, it's always the monsters that get all the price recognition. But here, the spell cards are so iconic because of the show. There was a show in it, and it was just iconic. This card, first off, it has such an incredible art design, but also it's so overpowered in the actual gameplay that it was banned competitively almost when the game came out. And since then, it's stayed banned because it's so powerful. You control one opposing monster, and that one switch can just turn the game around and snowball you. So it's been banned forever. It's iconic. It's first edition. It came from one of the first sets. Now, I will be honest, since I am on a very strict small budget, none of these cards are even close to mint condition. They're not PSA 10 or 9 or even 8. And that's the compromise I was happy to make. I also make it in Pokemon to get these iconic cards. These are the first edition cards from the first set. These are cards I couldn't afford when I was a kid. I got maybe one pack a year, one starter deck or tin a year if I was lucky, and then I maybe got some more using my own money, and then I had to make the most of my ability to trade other people and get the best cards. And so to me, having this card was iconic. And so, fun fact, I sold my whole deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards about 2 years ago. I kept them for so many years, and I sold them 2 years ago. I don't think there was anything in there that was valuable, even if I, kept them to this day, though. I had a lot of ultimate rares and ultra rares and super rares, but none of them were first edition. So the unfortunate issue with that is, unlike Pokemon, they get reprinted to death, and they're indistinguishable as far as what I've heard in my research. So if it doesn't say first edition on the actual card on the right here, or technically it looks like right here, then it's not something that's really collector worthy. And that's still something you might want to enjoy. So for me, I'm definitely going to be just buying the unlimited booster packs. Even though they're reprinted, they're affordable, and I can relive that nostalgia of opening a lot of these packs that, as a kid, I couldn't afford opening. And there's a collecting element of it, but there's also a competitive element. I believe the Yu-Gi-Oh competitive game was just so much more fun and complex, but not too complex, than Pokemon. Here's another one. Unfortunately, I made a mistake. The eBay listing said first edition. The description said first edition. The card itself does not say first edition. So this is a trap hole, another iconic trap card in the original set. Unfortunately, I may probably return this. Yeah, I think I've already issued a return on eBay for this because of the non-first edition thing. So I overpaid for that. I think I paid about $40, but the unlimited versions may be only worth $5 to $10. So turns out it's not the seller's fault completely. It was not malicious. He just wanted, he was very new to the hobby himself, so he really didn't know. So that's all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards I have so far. I have some more that I've been buying, but I'm reliving this amazing thing. I thought once I sold them 2 years ago, I would never buy them again, and here I am, looking at them from a completely different lens than I did before. Because I stuck with the game for many years after everyone else quit, and then of course more and more modern sets came out, more and more monsters came out that are not really iconic to the initial audience, but I knew them. They were good for competitive play, and then I sold them because they were. I felt like they were worthless in terms of value, but I could, bundle them together and sell them all for a good $100, which was better than nothing. And now I kind of feel like I should have kept them. There might have been something in there that said first edition, or just for nostalgia's sake. In terms of the value and potential of Yu-Gi-Oh, I think it's good, but maybe not as strong as Pokemon. The main reason is because it's a single generation thing, like SpongeBob. Unlike Pokemon, it did not do a good job of uh, rekindling younger generations. It's not like Disney, it's not like Pokemon. So unfortunately, I do think that when millennials get much more money, say 10, 20 years from now, these cards are going to be bought and they're going to fetch much higher prices. However, until then, well, even now, it's already starting to brew. Um, Collectors are already coming in, and some of them are very serious. They're already spending thousands on this. That's outside my budget, so I'm just doing what I can on my very shoestring budget, and buying what I can, and I am enjoying what I buy. I will say the market's much, much smaller, much more detectable and quantifiable than Pokemon. I mean, you might even only have 12 listings for a single card. I was looking at Harpy's Feather Duster, another iconic spell card, and very, very few were on eBay that were first edition. So here's just a cool Yu-Gi-Oh card if you're just for the fun of it. But yeah, I mean, when you saw the show, every episode in the first two seasons was ground shattering. I remember kids, especially myself, we were watching that, and when something huge went down, like Exodia was played or Crush Card Virus was played, it was iconic. So because of my knowledge of the game and the show and its impact, I'm so excited to get into this. I really wish I had more budget, but I know I'm not going to be the best at investing. I'm not going to be the worst. I'm not going to have the most budget or the most savvy to detect what's going up or down or what's going to really hold. And no one really knows for sure. But I think the beauty of my shoestring budget right now is that I'm able to not get too into it and overextend and then have to pay for it, or sell at a loss, and have to pay harshly for it, because I'm buying cards at in my disposable income range, roughly. And I do get tempted. And if you saw my previous Pokemon videos, I did overextend, got burned really badly, bought high at the worst time for more money than I was supposed to spend, a lot more. But that's a lesson, and that's a lesson on me as a person. It was a lesson that I didn't think I would have to learn, but there you go. And I was not the only one. So very, very excited about Yu-Gi-Oh! I have more Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards to show you. They're in the mail. They've been purchased. They're on their way. And I have more Pokemon cards I've not shown you. I've done previous Pokemon card collection videos, but they didn't get enough views to really warrant me showing the rest of my Pokemon card collection. So we'll see what happens. Maybe there is a need, maybe there's not. But I love talking about this. I mean, I could talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Stories and all this stuff till the dawn breaks. Just curious what you guys want to see. Let me know in the comments. Peace out.